song on the bio, by the way, is a track off of Beck's new disc, Information. Cell Phone's Dead is what it is. Beck is here. Nice to see you.
Hi, good to see you.
You as well. That song, Cell Phone's Dead, is killer. Talk to me about making the record, man, because in that, and generally when an artist talks about making the record, it's like, okay, fine, it was work. But this is painful, this record to make?
It had a lot of periods of time. We made it over 2.5 years, I think. So there were parts where it was just kind of easy, and we did a lot of recording at my house. And then there were other periods that were months and months locked in a dark room, 4 a.m, working on lyrics and all that.
Do you have to go into places inside your head to write, to write those lyrics, or do you just sort of pick them out?
On the good days, they just come, and then on the other days where there's a deadline and you have to do it, it's like, you can't leave till it's done.
What kind of, the deadlines, are they self-imposed or by other people?
When you have studio time and the clock's ticking and
the bills going up.
People have plane flights to England to get, to get on and all that.
As you made a bunch of records now. Does it get easier for you to do this?
Yes and no. I think you learn as you go, so you kind of go more. You go more directly to what you want to get. You're fumbling less, but at the same time you've kind of, you don't want to repeat yourself. So you've already done a lot of things. I can't do that again. I got to think of something new. So it gets a little more challenging.
A lot of artists made a lot of money by putting out the same record with a different cover.
I know.
Have you ever done?
It's not a bad idea.
When you look back to when you're on your past records, have you said, something has come out and you went, I didn't push myself enough on this one. I probably had a couple more in me.
I push myself pretty hard usually. There's definitely things you fail on each record, and I think that's why you make another one, really, because I don't think you ever get it right, and it's all a learning process. It's all an experiment. I never put out a record thinking that it's the sort of definitive statement. It's all kind of hopefully leading to something better.
What did you fail on this record?
A lot of experimentation on this record. We did a lot of weird things, which was cool. A lot of things that I had in mind that we never got around to doing, Like we recorded the whole record and then we put it all on vinyl, had it pressed on vinyl. Wow. And then had a DJ come and sort of do a DJ set of the record back in.
On digital after that?
Yeah, back into the machine, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll come out later as a special album.
There's bits of it on the record.
But doesn't that speak to the philosophy that a record's never actually complete, really, in that even when you release it, there's going to be remixes, there's going to be other people who add their art to it?
Sure, yeah.
And you
I
like
think
that?
That's true.
You like that reality?
True. I think the whole idea of the remix is kind of a return to that, that thing where someone would write a pop song and there'd be a jazz version or a 10 jazz version, there'd be a sort of lounge singer version, there'd be a pop version, there'd be a rock version of the song. Songs had a lot of lives back, in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
I guess that means in a sense that, the record and the songs can belong to more people if they don't necessarily feel it the way the artist originally puts it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's neat about this? And the era of the album cover we talked about, its death and all that. Yeah. So you've got this blank album cover.
It's blank. It's a
great. And then all of a sudden,
scary.
Dude, look at this.
It's weird when you see it in the store and it's a blank. It's kind of scary, because I think we're so afraid of
nothing,
emptiness or any dead spaces,
But then this is evolved, so people get to make their own CD covers.
Yeah. So there's a surprise when you open it up.
Now, this has gotten you not in trouble, but banned in England or something from the charts?
Yeah, they banned us because it was an unfair incentive. Yeah.
So they thought
we were trying to get people to buy CDs.
They figured kids would throw $20 just to go get a sticker collection?
Right.
That's hilarious, man. Well, look, you're a controversial artist again, Beck.
Hey.
Which is not a bad deal. Hey, you know what's interesting? I read the was it New Yorker? You never really talked about your faith before, but you talked about it a bit this time. The Scientology thing.
Yeah.
Did you look at like the whole Tom Cruise scenario and said, I better start saying something?
People always ask me about it. It's been in my family. My dad's been doing it for about almost 40 years, So it's kind of, it's part of the sort of landscape of my family. You know, it's part of the whole thing. And my grandfather was a Presbyterian minister, and my mother was Jewish. She raised us with Passover and all that. And
you had a lot of holidays in your house, didn't you?
Yeah, my stepfather's Roman Catholic, so I've kind of, you know, and I grew up in a Mexican neighborhood, and spent a lot of time in Japan, you know, going to temples and all that. So
the Scientology thing, a lot of people, I don't know if they misunderstand the religion, they don't get a handle on the religion from the media. What do you think when you see the coverage?
I don't really recognize it from my experience or what I know. I think, you know, when there's something that people don't know about it, they kind of fill in the vacuum with, you know, weird stuff on the internet or whatever. But
it's not close to your experience with it.
No, I don't recognize the stuff I've seen. You know,
that's cool. And and when you have 7 records now, or whatever, and plus all the different versions, the little drum machine boy, and all the songs that come out, how do you put your set list together now? What kind of show are you doing?
It's getting harder. Yeah, it's getting harder. I went and saw Prince a couple of years ago, and he just does 20 seconds of each of the songs because he has so many of them. So I'm kind of working on that a little bit.
I thought I almost saw you do that on the Tropicalia tour, where I thought there was a bit of a medley going on there.
Yeah, I know. Medleys kind of, I don't know, they're kind of dangerous territory when you get into medleys. And
they might just suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice to see you, man. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah. Beck joining us here. The Information is the name of the record.